Okay guys, welcome back to another weekly manga review video. I thought we had some good chapters this week for all the mangas. However, starting with Naruto chapter 586, Izanami attacks. I'm afraid it may be the end of Kabuto, which everybody could see coming. However, it really sucks because who are they left with now? But anyways, onto the chapter. Kabuto tries to put the tag back in Itachi to take control of him. Sasuke shoots a fireball at him. He deflects it with a water jutsu. He stabs Itachi with Sasuke's sword, and Itachi bursts into crows. He slices one of Kabuto's horns off, and then the entire thing starts to loop. He attacks Itachi, he blocks it with a sword, he says Izanami begins or something like that, and then everything just starts to repeat, like Kabuto is trapped in Groundhog Day or something here. Like the crow's feather falls and he steps on it, and then he does it again later, and he realizes that the same things keep happening. He's stuck, he can't escape this. So basically Izanami, Itachi says, is the jutsu that controls fate. And he says that Kabuto will never escape this loop. And the last thing we see is Itachi's hand on Kabuto's head, and Kabuto kind of in a zombie-like state. So I assume all of this is taking place in his mind. He's stuck in a loop forever where he's constantly going to be fighting Itachi and cannot escape this, which is a own personal hell and a really devastating way to take a villain out. I am pretty sure this is the end of Kabuto because it's a way for them to stop Ito Tensei. I don't even know how this stops Ito Tensei. If you kill him and it continues, then how does this stop it? But I guess we'll see what happens next chapter. However, it looks to me like Kabuto's done for. Kind of disappointing, but a lot of people would see this repeating jutsu as kind of a lazy way to write the end of this fight, but I think it was pretty original. I thought it was a clever idea, and I don't really have any problem with it. I thought it was a fine chapter, and it just sucks that Kabuto's gone. I mean, who do they have left now? Who are the villains? Madara or Toby, since no one knows who he really is, but Toby's the only one left. And I mean, it's really reaching the climax where the story is about to end. I mean, Sasuke was going to be a huge, powerful villain too, and Kishimoto said he wanted to have it end with Sasuke versus Naruto. However, after Sasuke talks to Itachi, I don't see why he would still want revenge. But you never know what they're going to do next, so I'm curious to see what happens next in this story, and hopefully it'll be something else that's really big, because taking Kabuto out really has to change the tide of the war, and I really want to see Toby's reaction to this next chapter. If you actually think about it, without Kabuto, Toby would have been, really screwed, because even with the armies, they've been all taken out. The plant guy, his armies and clones were nothing. I mean, they were all destroyed, and the only ones who really put up a fight were Kabuto's zombies, and even those guys were taken out. Like, the heroes have suffered no casualties at all in this thing, and that's really disappointing. That's the worst thing about this war so far, is the fights have been really quick and the heroes have suffered no casualties. It's just like Naruto shows up and everything's fine. I don't really care much for that. However, this chapter as a whole I thought was pretty good. So on to Bleach 492, Balancer's Justice. Aeon attacks. We get an awesome picture of him yelling. I thought that was really cool. We see the two kids that Ichigo rescued a few chapters back, Shino and Ryunosuke. They meet with the 6th seat of Division 13, Hideo Tomo, and he explains why they must fight the Quincy's. He talks about the balance of souls, how Shinigami purify the souls and then send them back to Soul Society, so it's in a constant loop, so the world is in balance. However, Quincy's just completely destroy the Hollow, including the souls, and it disrupts the balance. So Shinigami have to fight the Quincy's because the Quincy's entire existence threatens everything. It would be the end of the world. So they have to fight the Quincy's because the Quincy's refuse to listen to the Shinigami, and he says that both sides are just, however war happens. So we go back to the fight with Aeon and Opie. Aeon beats the crap out of Opie. I mean, punching him, slamming him into the ground, crushing him in his fist, just destroys him. He's in the sand. He looks like he's out for the count. And Apache walks over and says he's tough, but he's no match for Aeon. And then Opie gets up and stabs her. He says that he didn't expect this level of power and will suggest to His Majesty the Blut be strengthened. Blut is German for blood, so I'm not sure what he's referencing here. However, he says that, which was another awesome panel, was when he says this, he's got his neck is like all the way bent over, and this was pretty cool. And then he says before he does that, he's going to quickly expedite their demise, and we get another great panel. So the last thing we see is Opie going into like full badass mode, and he's probably going to destroy Aeon, the girls, and then have another fight with Ichigo. So yeah, I expect next chapter to be just the destruction of Aeon. And maybe some more cool stuff in Soul Society with the Vandenreich coming to attack them. So on to One Piece 667, cool fight. Cover page is Ivankov reading about the Straw Hats. And we get to the manga, and Brownbeard appears to be dead. I know I said before how characters don't really die in One Piece, and except for a few major ones, I'm not really sure if I'm going to believe a character's dead yet. He appears to be dead, however, we will see what happens. I would not be surprised if he somehow survived his wounds, or Chopper was able to revive him. So Luffy leaves to save Nami. Frankie in Chopper's body wants to go since they kidnapped his body, and he asks Chopper for the transforming beans. I thought that was pretty funny. Chopper gives him one and tells him he only has 3 minutes, and then we see Frankie instantly took it and is already in Monster Chopper mode, which he cannot control, and now he's trying to attack Luffy. Pretty awesome. Then we see Caesar planning to cut apart Frankie's body, steal the laser, and then toss him in an incinerator. So yeah, he's a pretty badass villain. He's also planning something for the Marines. We see Nami and the Yeti Cool brothers. She calls them perverts and says they only kidnapped her because of her nice body and how cute she is, so they think she's in a coma because she's in Frankie's body. They're also kind of stupid. They are talking about how cold it is, and Nami says, well, then you need to put clothes on, so they are kind of stupid. But they mention that their guns have cannons, and they also have poison gas. So Luffy and Frankie follow the footprints, and they fall off a cliff, which was a trap set by the Yeti Cool brothers. They have this thing, Icicle Pincushion, which is a bunch of frozen spikes. Luffy does the armament enhancement Gatling gun and breaks the spikes. They shoot him with cannonballs, but he balloons up, and he mentions that Raleigh taught him how to aim the attacks, so it's not just a defensive maneuver anymore, it's actually an attack in its own right. So he can actually aim the cannonballs back with twice the attack power, he says. So he shoots one of the brothers with that. He takes one of them out. The other one shoots the top of a mountain off, and it's falling. Rampaging Frankie Chopper stops the mountain and tosses it at one of the Yeti Cool brothers before they can shoot the gas. And then Frankie Chopper immediately tries to attack Luffy again, so Luffy takes him out with an elephant gun. The other brother steals Nami and starts climbing up a mountain like he's King Kong. At the top of the mountain is Law. Now, Law cuts the Yeti Cool brother in half, and then he uses something on him called Counter Shock. I'm not sure what happened here. Something happened to him, but I couldn't really tell in the panel what this did exactly, but it took out the Yeti Cool brother. So Luffy shows up, he frees Nami, and Law says that he didn't expect to see him here. However, there is an important key on this island which can completely change the New World. And he says the only way to survive in the New World is to either be with one of the 4 emperors or constantly challenging them. And he actually asked Luffy if he wants to form an alliance with him to take down one of the 4 emperors. And that's the last thing we see. So I don't know what's going to happen next week. I thought this was a really good chapter, and I don't know what's going to happen because Luffy really likes to be in charge. He likes being the captain. He's not going to work with anybody else, or at least follow their orders. However, an alliance could be possible, and an alliance with Law would be really powerful. I mean, the emperors must be extremely strong, if Law can't even handle him by himself, because he has an incredibly powerful devil fruit. But once again, I still have that same problem with the story right now as far as the New World goes, where the Straw Hats are just too damn powerful. They don't really have any enemies that can stand a chance against them, and I'm really looking forward to them getting some competition where they need to power up. I really enjoyed Alabasta, probably my favorite arc, because it was just such a great story, and you had Crocodile, who Luffy couldn't beat the first 2 rounds. It was a long, drawn-out fight that happened over a period of time, and I thought that was great. That's an awesome way to do it. And same thing with Lucci. That was also another amazing fight that Lucci just destroyed Luffy. But now he's like got all these new powers, and we're still seeing the effects of the 2 years of training. So, I mean, who knows how strong they really are? It's like they haven't even tried. In Fishman Island, they had no competition. They didn't even have to try to beat these guys. And I just really want to see some villains, again, who can destroy them. But, I mean, if they're already heading toward the Emperors, I mean, we're really reaching the downside of the story here, and I really don't want to see that happen, because I love this manga so much. I've loved it for years, and I just really want some more stuff in between before we get to the end of the story. So yeah, that's just the only complaint I have, is I would like the Straw Hats to be you know, at least have a little bit more competition out there of strong guys. It's like every time they come across a strong guy like Law, they never end up fighting. They always turn out to be good guys, like Okiji. He destroyed them, and then he turns out to be good. And then, like Law, he could destroy them, but he turns out to be good. So, I mean, they really don't have very many guys left, except for, like, Blackbeard, maybe some of the Admirals. So, yeah, I just want to see some more villains get brought in, who are very powerful. But, yeah, that's it, guys. That's this week's manga review. I thought all the chapters were good. Definitely check them out if you haven't yet. Some really cool stuff in these. And I'm looking forward to, you know, where Naruto's going next week. Hopefully a response from Toby. Bleach, Opie's going to go in full badass mode next week, and maybe something with the Vandenreich, and then One Piece, we'll see Luffy's response to Law's invitation for an alliance. So yeah, some really cool stuff this week, and that's it, guys. So thank you for watching. Bye.